Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick, and today we have the LEGO Star Wars Nebulon-B Frigate set number 77904. This is the Star Wars San Diego Comic-Con set from 2020 that actually got the Comic-Con logo, unlike the rest of the Comic-Con sets that were released this year that, obviously were not given away at Comic-Con because Comic-Con didn't happen. They edited that off the box. They removed it from the boxes of the three other Comic-Con sets, being the Toad Treasure Hunt, the Black Widow Taskmaster Ambush, and the Wonder Woman one. But this one, it managed to stay somehow, and also appeared on the instructions as well. The instructions got kind of a cool design to them. It does also say San Diego Comic-Con 2020, so, I guess this has kind of become the one actual, visible trace of LEGO's presence at Comic-Con in 2020. I guess could change if we get a San Diego Comic-Con Marvel minifigure. Well, not Marvel, but actually, I don't think that the Marvel figure has the Comic-Con logo. I know that the Supergirl one had that removed, but I don't know if we've seen people actually getting the physical packages of Miles yet, so I don't think that we know for sure. But if they did do a third one, they sometimes do from random other themes, then, I guess that remains to be seen. But for what we've got so far, it's only trace of actual Comic-Con. No ads or anything inside this instruction manual. The box is kind of interesting, a bit unique, because it's got the cool Comic-Con art style, where it looks hand-drawn on the front, and it's an impressive front of the box. If we turn it up to the side, though, it's just got this kind of worn-looking packaging with the Rebellion logo back there, and on the back it does show the model built up. It's kind of cool design to this box, I think. Definitely a box that will be worth keeping. And if we open it up, we have a quote on here from Wedge Antilles saying they're heading for a medical frigate, and inside we have a little bit of extra detailed art, which is kind of neat. Kind of makes this box feel a little bit more special, as it should, because it is a Comic-Con set. And here we have the full thing all built up, and it's actually, pretty respectably sized, larger than I expected at least, compared to a minifigure. I just have Ahsoka here, so we'll use her. It's definitely pretty large. Obviously, nowhere near minifigure scale because the ship is huge in universe, but it looks, like a decent volume of stuff for $40. Not nearly as small as I expected, really. One thing I do want to point out is that it would have been kind of cool if we got like a minifigure or two to put on the stand like that, if they had bricks with side studs facing out. This could make a cool way to display some of your cooler Star Wars minifigures. Possibly like Ahsoka, but she doesn't really have too much relevance to this ship at all. I believe she may have been in a Rebels episode with one, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't even know what minifigures they would include, so I'm definitely not going to fault them for not including any. But, I just do think that this display stand is kind of cool, and it's definitely necessary to make this stand up. So it would have been cool if they just kind of capitalized on the space a little bit. But it does have the 40th Anniversary of Empire Strikes Back sticker that was also used in the Bespin Duel, which was the Star Wars Celebration set for this year. And yeah, that's kind of cool here. It's nice on a hinge. Kind of would have liked those two gray hinge parts to just be black, just to, ramp up the consistency a little bit. But yeah, the overall design of the stand is kind of cool, and you can very easily remove the Nebulon-B from it. Just sits on those 4 studs there. There's a little bit of extra space there that is tiled off, just to move the center of gravity to a spot where it won't want to fall over. But yeah, you're able to pull the whole ship off. You really cannot display the ship without the stand. Like, you can maybe try to balance it like that, but it's not going to work at all. You absolutely 100% need the stand in order for this set to function. But, the ship on its own does look pretty good. You can kind of get it to balance it. If you move it one stud over to the side, it will still fit, but I believe that that's where the instructions tell you to put it, and, it is definitely balanced there. You have a lot of mass here, decent amount of mass there, but they do definitely balance out there. Right down here, you'll notice that we have a mini Millennium Falcon, which is kind of well built up, for the size. It does get the approximate shape across. Obviously, no hint of a cockpit really there, but you really couldn't get that in at that scale. Yeah, it looks okay, and you can obviously remove it, as I just showed you, if you want to display the ship without the Falcon attached. But, just looking at this thing, it really does not do anything, which is appropriate, because it's just supposed to be a display model of a ship. But it does have a good level of detail throughout. They made this a little bit more monotone gray than it actually is in universe. Like, there's a little bit of, like, green and some colors on these small little sections, but I did read an interview with the designer that said that they decided to go with all gray, because if you tried to put in a bunch of colors, which they did try, it just starts to look a little bit messy, and, the all gray look, I think, is pretty reasonably good for that. They do get a little bit of dark tan in there, too, which, does sort of convey the colors appropriately, but we got a lot of small greebling details, use of the BB9E head in plain gray, which is kind of cool, I guess. Turning it around to the other side, pretty much the same. One interesting thing to note, I assume that this is intentional and designed to replicate a certain detail, but this piece is, in the instructions, you're asked to put it on facing downwards on one side and upwards on the other side. Maybe it's supposed to be like that, maybe it's a complete mistake, but that's just how the instructions tell you to do it. It's not a mistake that I made, so take it or leave it, I guess. Moving it around to the back, though, I do really like the look of this section here. I think that using these pieces makes a really, really cool shape, and you do get the engines there, which look really, really neat. And I'm a fan of the way that this came out. This is probably my favorite section of this build here, and the use of these newer shape of wedge plates is kind of cool, because those are relatively uncommon. I believe that these are the two least common pieces in this set, aside from the sticker, obviously. But the other thing that means is that this is actually, very, well, lighting went bad there, but this is actually pretty reasonably easy to bricklink together yourself if you were unfortunately unable to get one of these yourself. But there's a couple other small sections I can show you, like a view from up top with the ingot pieces, using some jumpers, kind of making some interesting shapes there. You do have a ski pole there, and in the back we have, this little head that is from a Friends robot thing. I don't know, just lots of small sections there. I can't really, say too much else about them without just going on forever, which is kind of what I've already done. So, with that, I'm just going to say that I think that there's a pretty decent representation of this ship in LEGO form. It's the first time we've ever gotten this ship at all in any way in LEGO form, and I think that that's kind of cool for a, little Comic-Con set. And, I think the value for $40 is definitely pretty reasonable, and, I don't really have too many complaints. Like, obviously it's a little bit smaller than you'd expect from a $40 regular set, but the $40 regular set isn't going to be micro scale like this. So, I'm happy with it. Happy I was able to get one. I know a lot of people wanted to get one and couldn't because kind of tried to sell more than they had. I'm not going to talk about that whole situation, but if you were lucky enough to get one, I think that it's cool and worth the price. Do you have to open it and build it? I don't regret opening and building mine, but you could just bricklink it yourself if you don't want to open up your box and want to save it sealed, because they do go for quite a bit sealed on the secondary market. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little review. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.